Carbon offsetting and reduction strategies, a path to a sustainable future. In this module, we examine how carbon offsetting and reduction strategies play a vital role in the global effort to combat climate change. As a consequence of a warming planet become increasingly evident, there is a growing imperative to take action. We now explore the concept of carbon offsetting and various strategies to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, with a focus on the challenges and potential solutions. To begin with, carbon offsetting is a practice that allows individuals and organizations and government to compensate for their greenhouse emissions by investing in activities that reduce or remove an equivalent amount of emissions from the atmosphere. These activities are typically in the form of projects that promote green energy, reforestation, and energy efficiency. Carbon offset projects can help neutralize the emissions produced elsewhere and contribute to achieving climate goals. What are some of the key components of carbon offsetting? Well, number one, emission reduction projects. These projects can involve renewable energy generation through wind and solar, energy efficiency improvements, afforestation, and reforestation. Measurement and verification. Robust standards and methodologies are used to measure and verify emission reductions achieved by these projects. Reliable data is crucial to ensure the claimed reductions are real and additional. Carbon credits. Now, carbon offset projects generate carbon credits or carbon offsets, which represent the emissions reduced or removed. These credits can be bought and sold in various markets, facilitating the transfer of emission reductions from project developers to those who wish to offset their emissions. Additionally, a crucial principle in carbon offsetting means that emission reductions must be additional to what would have occurred without the offset project. In other words, the project must represent a real and tangible reduction in emissions. The significance of carbon offsetting. Carbon offsetting holds several important roles in the fight against climate change. There is emission mitigation. By supporting carbon offset projects, individuals, organizations, and government can actively reduce their carbon footprint. Then flexibility. Carbon offsetting offers flexibility in emissions reduction. It allows entities to compensate for emissions they cannot entirely eliminate, helping bridge the gap between current emissions and the low carbon future. Then, what are the incentives for innovation? The demand for carbon offset projects creates incentives for innovation and the development of low carbon technologies, renewable energy, and sustainable land management practices. And lastly, global collaboration. Carbon offsetting provides an opportunity for global collaboration where projects can occur in regions where emission reductions are most cost-effective and urgently needed. Carbon reduction strategies now. While carbon offsetting is valuable, it's not a standalone solution. Reducing carbon emissions at source is crucial to mitigating climate change effectively. Here are various carbon reduction strategies. Energy efficient technologies. Utilize energy efficient appliances, lighting, and HVAC systems in buildings and in industrial processes. Behavioral change. Promote energy consciousness behaviors such as turning off lights and equipment when not in use. Transportation efficiency. Encourage public transportation, carpooling, and adoption of fuel efficient or electric vehicles. Renewable energy, use those. Solar and wind power. Invest in solar panels and wind turbines for electricity generation, reducing your need on fossil fuels. Then there's hyperpower and geothermal. Explore other renewable energy sources such as hyperpower and geothermal energy where geographically suitable. Next, we look at sustainable transportation. Promote public transportation. Develop efficient and accessible public transportation systems to reduce individual car usage. Encourage walking and cycling for short trips and commutes. Encourage electrical vehicles. Support the adoption of electrical vehicles to decrease emissions. And that. Agriculture. Regenerative agriculture. Implement regenerative agriculture practices that sequester carbon in the soil and reduce emissions. Then there's consumption. Encourage diets with less meat consumption, as the livestock sector is a significant source of methane emissions. Then there's reforestation. Tree planting. Promote large-scale reforestation projects to capture and store carbon in the forest. Forest preservation. Promote existing forests to prevent deforestation and degradation. Waste reduction and cycling. Waste reduction strategies such as composting, recycling, and waste-to-energy technologies. Then there's the circular economy. Transition to a circular economy that minimizes waste and maximizes resource efficiency. Green building practices. Design and construct buildings that are energy efficient, incorporate renewable energy sources, and use sustainable material. Carbon pricing. Implement carbon pricing mechanisms such as carbon taxes or cap and trade systems to provide economic incentives for emission reduction. Regulatory standards. Enforce emission reduction standards for industries, sectors including power generation, transportation, and manufacturing. Then there's research and innovation. Invest in research and development of innovative technologies such as carbon capture and storage and advanced energy. Education, public engagement, raise the awareness of the importance of reducing emissions. Now we'll look at the challenges and as well their potential solutions within carbon accounting. Carbon offsetting and carbon reduction strategies face various challenges. Problem: ensuring that offsetting projects represent real and additional emissions reductions can be challenging. There's also the risk of double counting, where multiple entities claim the same emission reductions. The solution to this: standardized methodology, conduct vigorous verification, and use a high integrity carbon credit standards such as verified carbon standards help address these issues. Market credibility. Problem: the carbon offset market credibility can be undermined by poorly regulated projects and lack of transparency. The solution to this is for governments and organizations to support credible carbon offset programs, establish market oversight, and encourage transparency. Behavioral change problems. Promoting behavioral change is challenging as it requires altering established habits and practice. Solution: effective communication and an educational campaign can raise awareness and motivate individuals and communities to adopt sustainable practices. Invest in technology. Some carbon reduction strategies require substantial upfront investments in technology and infrastructure. The solution to this: governments and private sector can provide financial incentives, subsidies, research funding to overcome these